Hey everybody, it's Tim here with Horror Movie Yearbook. Let's take a look at what new horror movies are coming out for the week of September 27th, 2024. First up on VOD, September 24th is Beazle. Over 60 years, 3 guests of a cursed home discover an eternal witch who lives beneath it with an insatiable thirst for living souls. Directed by Aaron Fradkin, who also wrote it, along with Victoria Fratz. This stars Nicholas Robin, Victoria Fratz, and LaJauan Woods. This is a Dread original. Other Dread originals include movies like Candy Corn, Book of Monsters. The first Terrifier was a Dread original. LaJauan Woods was in Hangman earlier this year, which I did not see. So far, the director has mostly directed shorts. He did a horror miniseries in 2022 called Death Record. There's a trailer out for this. It seems to be a mix of found footage, kind of a witch movie inspired by Evil Dead as well. So yeah, it is out on VOD this Tuesday. Also on VOD, September 24th is I'll Play Mother. After the death of her birth mother, 2 young children are placed in the care of prospective adopter parents. However, it's not long before the family begins to question if something more sinister is at play. This is directed by Brad Watson, who has 2 Kelsey Grammer movies to his credits on IMDb. Father Christmas is Back and Mrs. Willoughby and the Haunted Bookshop. I'm not familiar with those. This is written by Libby Adam, Ben Charles Edwards. This stars Joe Martin, Shubham Sharaf, and Suzanne West. Suzanne West is from Goodnight Mommy. She's also playing a mother in this one. I didn't see Kelsey Grammer in the trailer, so I don't think this is another Watson-Grammer collab. This does, from the trailer, look a little similar to Goodnight Mommy, right? Did anybody else watch it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's out on VOD September 24th. Next up, on September 24th, on VOD is Succubus. A new father struggling with fatigue, emotional insecurities, and a failing marriage joins a dating app only to swipe right on what may be an inhuman presence. I assume that happens quite often. Directed by R.J. Daniel Hanna, written by R.J. Daniel Hanna, starring Ron Perlman, Rosanna Arquette, and Olivia Grace Applegate. R.J. Daniel Hanna has directed 2 movies recently starring Matthew Modine, star of the Wrong Turn remake, Miss Virginia, and Hard Miles. I saw a trailer for Hard Miles and I wanted to check that out. It's about a prison social worker who assembles a team of convicts and takes them on a ride. Yeah, it was inspired by a true story. It looked pretty good. This is not an inspirational sports drama, at least judging by the trailer. It looks like Rosanna Arquette and Ron Perlman did some FaceTime acting. I'm actually kind of intrigued by this one after watching the trailer. I'm putting it on the watch list. This was a pretty saucy trailer. That's Succubus, out on VOD September 24th. Next up, you guessed it, on VOD September 24th is Hayride to Hell. No stop signs, no speed limits. A small town farmer exacts his bloody revenge on unscrupulous townfolk who try to steal his land. This is directed by Dan Lantz. This is written by Christina Chadwick and Robert Lang, starring Bill Moseley, Kane Hodder, and Graham Wolfe. Dan Lantz has directed titles such as Ninja Babes from Space, Bloodlust Zombies, and Alice and the Vampire Queen from last year. This trailer, Hayride to Hell, looks like terrific, to be fair, eventually. So I'm going to add it to my watch list and keep an eye out for when it hits a service like Tubi. This looks exactly like what you think it would be by the title and the cast. Bill Moseley is always great. Same with Kane Hodder. He's trying to scare people to save his farm. So, like I said, I'm going to check this out when it hits a free service eventually. It looks like a good Halloween time fun watch. So that is Hayride to Hell on VOD September 24th. You're not going to believe this. We have another VOD release on September 24th in Tenants. After waking up in an unfamiliar apartment complex, a woman desperately searches for her sister while being hunted by a shadowy figure. As she makes her way through the building, unspeakable horrors befall the tenants which she interacts with. This is an anthology film. This has multiple directors, multiple writers. It stars Mary O'Neill, Rob Hillis, and Douglas Vermeeren. I think that I butchered that. I apologize, Douglas. It's an anthology with 7 stories of terror, is how the poster describes it. That's a pretty good tagline. I like anthologies. They can be hit or miss by their nature, and 7 anthology segments seems like a lot to me. It's not a bad hook, though. The trailer is online if you want to check it out and see for yourself. It's played some festival as well, so there are some reviews out there, but that is Tenants on VOD September 24th. All right, we've made it to the end of VOD releases that are coming out September 24th. Winter Island. When a young girl is found dead on a small wooded island, her teenage brother's post-mortem visions point to an evil presence within their own family. This is directed by Tony Dupe, written by Clark Coffey and Chris Joseph Taylor. This stars Elijah Carnazzo, Jason Adkins, and Katie Prentice. The trailer makes this look like a pretty straightforward Haunting in the Woods movie. The woods are on an island, though. That's pretty much all I got from the trailer. You can watch it as well and see if you get more from it. It is on VOD September 24th. That is Winter Island. All right, a big release is coming to Paramount Plus. New release on September 27th, Apartment 7A. This is the prequel to Rosemary's Baby. A struggling dancer finds herself drawn into dark forces by a peculiar couple promising her fame. This is directed by Natalie Erica James. This is also written by her and Christian White, Skylar James. This stars Julia Garner, Diane Wiest, and Jim Sturgis. Did we need this? I don't know. It's currently playing Fantastic Fest. Reviews have been pretty mixed from what I have seen. Natalia Erica James directed Relic in 2020, and I did like that movie quite a bit. It's about a mother and daughter and a grandmother, and they're haunted by the manifestation of dementia. I didn't dislike the trailer for this one. I approach a lot of these streaming movies like direct-to-video with a prequel, and that's okay. I'll probably check this out at some point because I feel like I have to. I wasn't overly sold. Some of the reviews, like I said, have called it kind of bland. The trailer made it look kind of bland, but also it made it look watchable. So yeah, that is Apartment 7A. That's out on Paramount Plus this week, September 27th. A busy week, and it's only going to get busier next month, but Azrael in theaters, September 27th. In a world where no one speaks, a devout family-led community hunts down a young woman who had escaped imprisonment. Recaptured, Azrael is due to be sacrificed to an ancient evil in the wilderness, but fights for her own survival. This is directed by E.L. Katz, written by Simon Barrett. This stars Vic Carmen-Son, Samara Weaving, and Nathan Stewart Jarrett. This is an IFC film, and it is a Shudder film as well, so it'll eventually be on those services. E.L. Katz directed Cheap Thrills. He also has directed some good TV series, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Swamp Thing, Channel Zero, Scream. Simon Barrett, of course, is a frequent collaborator with Adam Wingard. He worked with him on You're Next, The Guest, first couple VHS movies. He still writes with him. He co-wrote Godzilla and Kong as well, the new one. IFC and Shudder they do have a very good hit rate with me. They're at the very least interesting, these Shudder releases, for me at least. This movie looks right up my alley, judging by the trailer. I'm a pretty big Samara Weaving fan. There's no dialogue in the trailer, and I think it makes it stand out even more. A unique trailer. I would suggest checking it out. It looks like a supernatural action movie. So I'm excited for this one. This is definitely going on my watch list. I'll check it when it hits VOD at some point. I'm not going to be able to make it out to theaters, but maybe you can. It's in theaters on September 27th. And that is it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you haven't done so, check out our latest episode of Horror Movie Yearbook. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. It's 2 hours of us attempting to come up with our top 10 favorite movies of the 1980s and stressing out over it and eventually being probably unhappy with our top 10 list. But if you want to send in your top 10 lists as well, do so. horrormovieyearbook@gmail.com is probably the best way to reach us at this point. You can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, we're a little less active. On Instagram, we're a little more active. But I think email, horrormovieyearbook@gmail.com is the best place to check us out. You can also subscribe to our Patreon if you like this and you like our podcast, patreon.com/MidwestPodnet. You'll be able to find our bonus episodes as well as bonus episodes of the other Midwest Podcast Network shows, including the Midwest Game Nerds, which is a great show. If you have any interest in video games, check them out, the Midwest Game Nerds, on all of your favorite podcasting service. But that's it for this week. We're going to be back next week to check out what's coming out in October, and I'm sure it's going to be very busy. So thank you. Go watch some horror movies.